Not gonna talk about.
Yeah, and I don't know how to change the slide.
So, but yeah, my name is Ingrid, and Brenda and Meg and myself, we all landed here today.
If just hit page down on there.
In some way, shape, or form through our involvement with Citizens Climate Lobby. I've been here since the beginning of our New River Valley chapter, but we are an international grassroots volunteer-led organization. We all have day jobs that we came from to be here today, so no one's paying us to do this work. We're just a grassroots group of people that are climate concerned, and we work to build political will to promote sound and effective and fair climate policy to mitigate climate change. All right, so the Inflation Reduction Act passed late last year, and it to date is the single largest action taken by the US government and Congress to address climate change. With the goals and agenda set within this package, it will get us to 40% greenhouse gas reductions in domestic emissions by 2030, which is, the years keep going by, right? All right, so the goal of the Paris Climate Accord is to get down to 50%, for the US to get down to 50% of CO2 reductions below 2005 levels. That target is all the way on the bottom right of the chart. This is what we have been doing in the US in terms of greenhouse gas emissions between 2000, it was 2021 up to 2020, 2005, my bad. There's some trends already underway, mostly driven by coal energy being replaced by other fuel sources. So we have been trending downward in CO2 emissions, but we're not doing it fast enough, and we really needed something to get us moving more quickly in the right direction. Business as usual, we were gonna miss our target of 50% reductions by like half. That's our business as usual. This is without the Inflation Reduction Act. But now with what has been put in place, it will get us that much closer to our goal. Not all the way, but complementary actions and other legislation can help us along. This is now much more realistic for us to meet our climate goals in the US.
Didn't COVID help the last few years?
Yeah.
COVID did have one of those dips. Yeah.
So not as many people drive cars.
Yep. But look, it went right back up. Yeah, but yes, that's good. Good eye.
Yeah, see.
Yep.
Went down.
Yep. All right, and okay. And I'm gonna pass it to Brenda.
So you just heard from Ingrid about this ambitious goal and these dramatic cuts that we're gonna work to achieve through the IRA. So how is this going to happen? Well, the IRA provides tax credits for renewable energy solutions like wind and solar, and these will almost double America's share of low carbon electricity. And then it also introduces a fee on methane pollution, which in combination with EPA regulations will curb emissions from the oil and gas industry by about 70% by the year 2030. It also provides rebates and tax credits to assist homeowners in electrifying and making their homes more energy efficient. It provides funding for natural climate solutions like forests and agriculture, more natural agriculture and regenerative agricultural methods. And it brings investment in technology innovation and manufacturing in the United States, which also, as an aside, will create some new jobs for us. So how did the IRA get passed in this political environment that we have? Well, contentious, polarized environment. So this was actually the culmination of decades of work that was done by climate advocates of many types. The grassroots climate groups like CCL and including CCL got behind the bill, engaging in strong advocacy and lobbying. There was support from a variety of businesses and industries. In fact, even the fossil fuel industry did not oppose the bill. Public concern about climate change has also grown as its impacts have become more visible and people are demanding action. And technologies like solar panels, wind turbines, and electric cars have become increasingly affordable, making them more popular. So when the IRA Act was proposed, the CCL activated their large number of volunteers to lobby for passage of the bill. And so their volunteers held 920 meetings with congressional offices. They generated over 225,000 contacts to Congress, many of those by phone call, email, postcards. And these are some of the ways that I was telling you about earlier, that if you get on the mailing list, you'll be notified of opportunities to be one of these 225,000 contacts with your representative. And it literally takes minutes because CCL does all the background, all the back end stuff for you. So it makes it super easy. It's click, put in your name, add some, personal commentary if you like, and click send. And then they published over 2,000 letters to the editor, and they published 676 op-eds in their local newspapers. Not only do we have all of these benefits for the environment, but, oops, how did we get to that? That's not the one.
Do we get out of order?
Yeah, it's out of order. Huh. Okay, never mind. All right, so when you leave here today and you go home this evening and you're sort of talking at your kitchen table and you might be like, wow, I heard about these tax rebates and incentives for making small tweaks at home for more energy efficiency. I wonder, what would we qualify? How much money could we get? Well, never fear, because if you go to this website, rewiringamerica.org, they have what's called the IRA calculator. And if you just enter a little bit of your information, it will provide detailed numbers about what you can save on electric vehicles or electric heat pump or electric stoves, home weatherization, improves insulation and windows, rooftop solar and battery storage, and wiring and breaker box upgrades. And we're going to give a demo of this calculator in just a few minutes. So we've talked about the environment, we've talked about households and homeowners, we've talked about the benefits to individuals, but what about nonprofits? Well, prior to the IRA, nonprofit entities had limited options for taking advantage of solar tax credits. But now with the IRA, the IRS is directly paying nonprofit entities a 30% tax credit on solar projects. And on top of the 30% tax credit, there are potential add-ons in addition to that, including, for example, 10% for federally subsidized affordable housing. So, for example, if a nonprofit were to embark on a solar project that was estimated to cost $100,000, they could get back from the Treasury between $40,000 to $50,000 on that project. And then in addition,
And that's the problem. So how can you benefit from a tax break or a tax rebate if you don't file taxes? That's what this is. Hard to sometimes shortly explain, right? So instead it's just a chunk of money going to the nonprofit instead.
Give them the cash equivalent.
Yeah.
Give them the tax equivalent. So a church could do this.
I guess so.
Yeah, church.
And I
The,
think you're gonna talk
the
more
last
about-
part of what I was gonna say on this slide, though, as I wanted to make sure that I say, is that the IRS is still reviewing the details of the Inflation Reduction Act. So they have not firmed up exactly how some of these details are going to be carried out or implemented. So I would encourage any nonprofits who are considering applying for this to be sure to check the latest from the IRA information and the IRS, because at the time of this presentation development, there's still some details that are being worked out. And now I'll turn over to Meg for her to finish up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Meg Root, and I am a member of the Citizens Climate Lobby, but I'm also, I work for a global solar company called Baseline Solar. And a lot of questions that I get is, how do I, as a homeowner, take advantage of these tax credits and rebates? So that's why I want to go into a little bit more detail on that. Okay, so there are the financial incentives available to the general public can be grouped into two buckets. There are tax credits, which are available now and can be used to offset the amount that you owe to the federal government each year. And there are rebates, which can be used up front to lower the cost of energy efficiency and electrification upgrades. And as Brandon mentioned, the rebates are still in the works because they're decided by each state's energy office. So for our example, the VA energy office would be the one finalizing this up, but they should be available in early 2024. And you can use our virginiaenergy.gov website to check for updates. And that link is in the blue brochure that I handed out as well. One of the most important things that the IRA did was to improve the federal solar investment tax credit, or ITC, which was soon to sunset. So it increased it from 26% to 30% and extended it for 10 years. So now this 30% uncapped credit has no income limits and can be used on multiple types of clean energy systems for your home, along with solar, also wind and geothermal, which is really cool, battery storage and electrical panel upgrades when done at the same time as solar. There are also new and exciting changes to the EV tax credit. Starting next year, you can put the tax credit straight to the dealership and it functions as a point of sale rebate. So instead of waiting for your tax returns to come back to get that money back, it comes straight off the cost of the vehicle, which will greatly improve the affordability and accessibility of switching to an EV. And you can use this website listed here to check which vehicles qualify, because there are some stipulations with certain vehicles, also some income limits. So you can use that website, which is also in your brochure, to check if a vehicle that you're looking at will qualify. So just to kind of give you an amount number, for new EVs, you can get $7,500 off the cost. And for used EVs, you can get up to $4,000, which is huge. There's also a new EV charger credit. So you can get up to $1,000 if you live in a non-urban or low-income community as defined on this slide. Blacksburg does qualify, but if you live in a different town, you can use the IRA calculator tool that Brenda mentioned to see if your locality qualifies. There's also an energy efficient home improvement tax credit, which is such a mouthful. And this gives you 30% back on any upgrades in your home to increase energy efficiency and electrify your home. So heat pumps, appliances, home weatherization, new doors, new windows, so much is covered under this tax credit. And it can be helpful to do a home energy audit to see what would be most beneficial in your own home before you start making these big purchases. So there is a local company called Energy Check that can help with this. And you can also get $150 back on home energy audits through this tax credit. This credit also resets each year and there is a max amount. So it's probably smart to make large purchases in different years so you can fully take advantage. So if you want to upgrade your space and water heaters, do them in different years so you can take that credit and get the full amount of both years. Along with those tax credits I mentioned, there are two rebate programs. The first is shorthand called HERA, and this helps low to moderate income households buy these, what can be big purchases sometimes through upfront discounts. So similarly to the EV, where you can take it off the top of the cost, these give rebates on these purchases to help electrify and make your home more energy efficient. So heat pumps, weatherization, all that good stuff. And for low income, it's covered at 50%, or sorry, moderate income at 50%, low income at 100%, and a $14,000 max rebate per household, which can buy a lot of this good stuff. The second rebate program is available to all households. There's no income limit, but the rebates are doubled for low to moderate income households. And it's based on modeled or measured energy savings. And this is the part where it gets kind of gray, but how I like to think about it, if you're doing a project to your house where you're gonna weatherize and get a new heat pump, there are ways to calculate how much of your energy that you would save by doing that whole home project, and then you get a certain amount back. So if you're going to reduce the energy in your home by a quarter to a third, you would get 4,000 back if you're a non-LMI household, or 8,000 back if you are an LMI household. So they're still working that out at the Virginia Department of Energy on how to give that back, but it's going to be a game changer when it finally comes, because these rebate programs will give people a chance that might not have been able to make that upfront investment on these items to finally be able to get that done. This is a great illustration by Nicole Kellner, and it shows how you can stack the tax credits and rebates so you can take advantage of both on the same purchase. So let's see, the heat pump clothes dryer, you get that $840 upfront discount on it, and then you can also take the tax credit back. It feels like too good to be true, but this is what the IRA did. It's pretty awesome. Now time for the demo to show you how quick and easy this is to use and how much information it shows. I did it for my mom last night and she was amazed. Okay.
Which computer do
It's showing on here.
Okay.
Project.
I think we have to share screen to the browser instead of that. Oh. So you have to stop share and then share screen and select the other thing.
Oh, okay. Oops.
I can't see mine.
Well, it says.
I can't see my cursor. Okay, there we go.
Stop share.
There we go. And then share screen. Okay, I can't get the mouse to come out. Oh, there we go. Share screen. Bada bing. Bada boom. Now it's just on this screen still.
Well, if we want, we can
So-
start talking.
May I? Yeah, yes, please. Thank you. Oh, no, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I would like to go do some scenario that is one for renters and one for homeowners, because not everyone on renter, and they need to say something.
It's a great idea. Let's start with the homeowner. So somebody yell out, single, married, filing jointly. How many people? Two. Typical household income.
The median, does anyone know the median for the area for household? Two-person household? No. Let's say 60. Well, 51 for an individual.
Zip code. Blacksburg. Yeah, you don't have to put in your name or any other type of personal information. Yeah, you don't have to put in anything. And it literally spits out your personalized incentives, how much you can get with the rebates, which are shown in the upfront discounts, what tax credits you can get, and your estimated energy savings. It is so cool. And then you can go down and click on each different thing you would be eligible for and click more info on each one that you would like. Tells you more information about the product and it's just so cool. I'm so happy that Rewiring America did this because it is so helpful. Yeah,
Get new windows.
Over here that map out the details of the different.
He said replacing the windows. It's not gonna have much effect.
That depends on how old your windows are.
Be surprised, but it's like one of the low ones.
So I just real quick on the windows, I can tell you firsthand, because that's the first thing that I do when it starts getting cold is shrink wrap my windows. And you can literally, me and my husband did this to test it just for fun one time. We just poked a hole in it and we could literally feel air shooting in through that hole and the window was closed. But so it really just depends on the type of window that you have, but it can make a difference.
He said that. Let's understand this calculation.
Mhm.
There's nothing on here that says you have to measure the energy before or measure it after. It just says it's a certain amount of window.
Well, that's a specific, that's a specific piece in the bucket, but this is getting like all the different. So, you know, the one where you measure your energy is.
Weatherization.
Right, it would be included under weatherization, yep. And then any of these tax credits, and it tells you the amount that you're eligible for. Okay, let's try a renter scenario, if there are no more questions on the homeowner scenario. Okay, renter. What would this,
Single.
Single.
Who's telling you money you will get? Potentially.
You're eligible.
you're eligible for if you make these
Maybe other
purchases?
conditions.
Well, if you go through with the actual purchases or activities that are eligible for the rebate credit. Like if you're not gonna buy a new electric heat pump, well, you're not gonna get the rebate for credit for that.
Should buy it.
It's more, it's a sweeter carrot to go do the improvement. That will reduce your energy output.
Ingrid, you might wanna stand up here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's all good. Okay, we could do, well, we could do a single person household, because then that kind of gives you the, like, almost a per person. And we'll keep that to 4060, but let's go with, some modest single earning, 45 a year. And let's calculate this. So tax credits, $3,500 versus, so obviously if you don't own your home, you can't necessarily improve the, you know, the place you're renting. And
Right.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be buying a heat pump for the place you're renting.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
However, I guess if you decided to, like, if you are in a situation where you could buy the appliance, for
Take it with
instance, and
you.
take it with you,
That's surprised.
yeah. You know, an electric vehicle purchase, 7,500. These are credits, right? Meg is more familiar than I am with the
Yes.
nitty gritty.
Right now, this is just the tax credit, but this is what next year is gonna be able to be used as the upfront discount in 2024.
Or yeah, there's the $4,000 credit for a used electric vehicle. Which really, if you're in the market for buying a new vehicle as it is, you know, having one more thing to help you make that decision for your budget and long-term investment. So. Well, you just kind of have less options when you're renting, so. And that's a whole other bag.
Yeah. Yes.
The question was related to what if you own property that you rent out? What can landlords?
Yeah.
What, yeah, what's
Wouldn't be any different than a homeowner.
Yeah, landlords can
Yeah.
make all of these purchases, get all of the credits back. So it could also be helpful to talk to your landlord about these things, say, you can get this much money back, save electricity, improve the quality of your house, you know, all that good stuff. It could be in their best interest as well.
Yeah, because
And
renters
actually a
will
lot of times-
save on their electric bills. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
It's a big disconnect and. You know, a lot of renters and low incomes, they pay through the roof on utility costs and there's no incentive for the.
Yeah.
Landlord to make that better because they don't. Pay electric bills.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
well, very familiar with that. Yeah, a lot of the housing stock in Blacksburg, for instance, is quite old. And a lot of it is rented out, and if you actually pay attention, you might see a lot of window units sticking out,
Mhm.
you know, like, there's still plenty of places that don't have a heat pump, that don't have a HVAC system. I could have sworn I read somewhere about, because if you rent, you might purchase one of those AC window units. Wasn't there some kind of, I swear I saw discounts for getting like an Energy Star, energy efficient window unit?
Yep,
For
efficient
your rent.
appliances,
Right,
yep, exactly.
right.
They have to be Energy Star or higher rated.
Any idea if the income qualifications are for the owner landlord or if they are for the tenant?
It would be for the person making the purchases and getting back the benefits, so it would be for the landlord.
It's a shame that there's not a way to structure that so that it takes into account the fact that people are renting to low income individuals.
That's,
But, well, there were things in there about if something is being installed or put into a low income community or affordable housing.
yeah,
That's getting into some of the larger,
more nitty gritty, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's for EV chargers too, for the,
yeah.
Any more questions?
Ideally. Why do you gotta say by reducing energy? Consider the moment it makes sense. These are just
Mhm.
extra.
Oh, yeah, like,
Mhm.
You put it in. Heat pump, you will reduce your air conditioning for that. X%.
that's kind of the point, because.
Isn't it so
The question.
Yes, okay, so we had a really good point made from an audience member about tax rebates and credits aside, if you buy more efficient appliances and make these improvements where you can in your life, you're gonna save even more money in the long run on your energy bills, whether that be your air conditioning or not paying gasoline at the pump. The long term, the benefits and cost savings are long term. And it's very exciting, guys.
I know.
This is the single biggest act by the US government to reduce our domestic emissions.
Is this following the rules of Trump?
No, an act of Congress is far more durable than an executive order, which is why this is,
Obamacare survived Trump, so this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. remember, Congress has to do their jobs and write the laws.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I just want to mention too, that these tax credits and rebates are available for 10 years, but the rebate programs could be on a fixed amount. So I would recommend doing the things as soon as possible, just so you can make sure that you can get that money back. Same with the tax credits. I mean, they're in writing going to be here for 10 years, but just to be safe, make a plan now and start doing what you can as you can do it.
Well, I would say the Congress announcement.
I think with regard to an electrical vehicle purchase, whether you are used, you have to be careful as to where the car was produced and where the battery was produced. So you need to check the brand of the vehicle.
Yes, great point, Bill. Yes, Bill just made a good point about how you need to check the make, model, where the car was built, where the battery was built in order to receive the EV tax credit. So that's why that fueleconomy.gov website is a really great place. All you do is put in the vehicle and it will tell you whether it's eligible.
Let's see, we'll come this one, we bought the Bible.
Ooh.
We couldn't get it exactly, but it's Bible. But it gets twice the mileage of that previous one. Because cop, gas, for the half.
Mm.
But we had it, we just really well. It's such fun to see the back of the truck, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Second thing we thought about during this. Around. We looked at the electrical bill and we're actually spending more on coffee.
Wow.
Well, if you get that good coffee too.
Yeah, the good.
Some things are worth.
So. I think previous owner of the house maxed out the installation.
Right.
Cost saving. So I think that's a rare exception.
That's all.
Good.
I'll make the point that a lot of these incentives are, you know, the long-term savings are predicated on the cost of electricity, and in Virginia, it is still pretty cheap. for electricity.
Yeah, our electric rates are lower compared to other states.
Right.
In California, this is an easy thing to say, we have to do this because electric rates are ridiculously high.
Yeah.
If you're in Virginia, we still have very low electric rates compared to much of the.
Yes, I'll repeat that. So a question was brought up or a comment about how electricity prices in Virginia are still very low. But I will just say that Power at least is proposed another rate hike coming up soon. So it's going to continue to increase. So the savings are only going to continue to get better and better as electricity prices rise. I'm sorry, you want to
Yeah.
anything?
Just the concept that it's hard to feel motivated to do the right thing when the right thing is more expensive. For instance, why purchase an electric car if gas is cheap enough? Why worry about the energy efficiency of your home if electric rates are low enough? If the cost of all the energy you're spending is truly reflected to you, you might be an informed consumer.
What about climate change?
Yeah.
What about the destruction that climate change is causing to this earth as we speak?
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
And flooding even in the US,
Mhm.
many places in the world, with devastation, it's just incredible.
And the good thing about just tying that back in, residential emissions account for a quarter of the emissions in the US. So if we can help people at their own homes to reduce emissions, that will take a huge chunk out of our United States emissions.
I mean, just had a hurricane, it's gonna hit our. And in 24 hours, it went from the tropical storm to absolute fire.
Wow. Yeah, extreme weather events are.
Oh,
Yes,
we
please,
have-
questions. I'm so sorry, we haven't been checking.
When can I get a rebate, now, or do I need to wait until when? Also the rebates, if I install now, do I need to wait until after January 1st?
Yes, so the rebate programs are not finalized yet. They're still being put on paper on how to get the money back from the Virginia DOE. So check the virginia.energy.gov website for updates, but you would need to wait until 2024 to get those rebates back.
Well, and tax credits also have to be done it.
The tax credits are available now.
Okay.
So if you want to get that money back on your taxes for this year, make the upgrade now. But if you, whatever year you want that tax credit, do it in that year.
So it's upon filing.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Any other questions?
So is it okay with you if we post these slides?
Yeah.
on the website? And we'll add some links to some of the other things we've been talking about.
Yes. Also, we could post, I just did a blog post on Baseline Solar's website about all the IRA, and I have included all the links that are in the brochure and everything, so we can post that so the people online can have access to those links.
Thanks everyone
thank
for
you,
coming on.
guys.
And thank you Sustainable Blackbird for everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.